What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Swift video. In today's video, we're going to learn about using maps in SwiftUI 2.0, recently updated by Apple to support maps natively in SwiftUI. We'll also go ahead and add this button here. We tap on it. We'll show you how to animate into the map with this cool transition, and we'll talk about how to hold various data about your map with property wrappers in states. If that all sounds good, get started by destroying the like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Consider hitting subscribe. Get Xcode ready, get excited. Let's talk about some maps in SwiftUI. All right, we're going to get started by opening up Xcode and creating a new project here. We're going to stick with the app template under iOS. Let's go ahead and give this a project name of Map SwiftUI. Make sure your language is Swift and both your lifecycle and interface are set to SwiftUI. Go ahead and continue, save the project wherever you'd like. And first things first, we are going to hit resume here to load up our preview. While that loads, we're going to expand our Xcode window, close the right panel since we don't need it. And I'm also going to go ahead and make our code side a little larger to give ourselves a little more room to write our code. We're also going to change the preview device to a 12 Pro Max just to have a bit of a more modern device to work with. Now we're going to get straight away into it. So the first thing we need to do to bring a map into our SwiftUI app is, of course, import MapKit, which is a framework from Apple to use map-related data and symbols. We want to add a navigation view into our view here in the body. I am going to then put a vertical stack inside here, which is going to house our actual map. And how do you create a map in SwiftUI? Well, you just create a map. And it takes one parameter for the region, which we are going to create in a moment. And it's going to be a bindable state property. So we're going to use a $sign there. And then up here, we are going to go ahead and create it. A region is going to be a MK coordinate region. A region takes in a coordinate as well as a span. So the center here is going to be a coordinate 2D, whereas the span will basically be how zoomed in the actual map view is. So let's go ahead and create a CL location coordinate 2D, just like that. Now this gets created with a latitude and longitude. I'm going to see if I remember the latitude and longitude for New York off the top of my head. We'll cross our fingers. And then right here, we are going to say MK coordinate span. And we're going to go ahead and create this with a delta for the latitude and the longitude. Let's go ahead and say 10 for both of these and see what these look like here. Now let's see what else we need to go ahead and do. So we have these created. Let me go ahead and line break this. Let's see why this is complaining. This is saying unknown attribute because this S for the state should be capitalized. I'm also going to go ahead and line break some of these parameters just to clean this up a little bit. And just like that, we should be in business to see our map. So all of our errors should go away. Let's go ahead and hit the resume button in our preview. And I expect this to update with our map. Give it a second, and we should be seeing our map now. I'm going to go ahead and change the preview to be in dark mode to make it a little easier to see. And we're also going to hit this live preview to load up the map. So we can see here that it has loaded up the New York tri-area with the coordinates I put in. Let's go ahead and do some more cool stuff here. So what we want to go ahead and do is we're going to add a button to the bottom of this map right below it. And when we tap it, we want to go ahead and zoom in. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to add a button right here. A button can get created with a variety of initializers, but we're going to use an action and a label. The action will be a closure where we do something in a moment. And the label, I'm going to go ahead and give it a text and call it zoom in. We're going to also give this a frame with a width and a height. We'll say this is 250, a height of 50, and an alignment of center. And let's go ahead and give this a nice looking background color of blue. We'll also go ahead and give this a nice corner radius of 8, just like that. So we have a button at the bottom. We also want to change the foreground color to be white so we can actually see on the blue background, just like that. Maybe we'll change the color of this to be green so we can actually read it a little more easily and add a bold modifier. Now, when we tap on this, we want to go ahead and zoom in. So the first that we're going to actually do is let's go ahead and let me say here 5 instead of 10. Let's see what that looks like. If we go ahead and hit resume, let's see if that actually zoomed it out. I believe it should have, which it indeed did. And let's go ahead and also move our uh, latitude here to be -75, and let's see where that moves us. We should be hopefully a little more closer to, over some more land, so we're not in the ocean here. So now what we can go ahead and do is when I tap on this button, we want to go ahead and zoom in. And now, if we recall, our region here, we marked it as state. So if we change anything on it, our view will recompute. So here I'm simply going to say the region's span, and we're just going to assign it to a new span. So I'm going to copy and paste that and just drop that in right there. And instead of 5, let's go ahead and say 40. Now that might be a little aggressive, but we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and tap on this button. And we see that we actually, in fact, instead of zooming in, we zoomed out. So I think I got these backwards. So here we're going to say 5. And up here, we are going to say 40, just like that. And we can see if we go ahead and hit resume again, let's try that one more time. If I go ahead and tap on that, you'll see we zoomed in. Now, I haven't actually played with a way to do this with an animation, but I wonder if we wrap this with animation like that, since SwiftUI does support these implicit animations, what will happen? So we go ahead and do that, and boom, it actually zoomed in with a really nice looking animation. Let me pause this and see that one more time here. Let's pause. I'm gonna go ahead and hit that play button. We tap on it. You can see we can get that zoom in effect pretty trivially. So quick recap here, we started by importing map kits. We went ahead and added a property here for a coordinate region, which takes a coordinate, longitude, latitude. It also takes in a span for how far you're gonna basically see in the span. And we mark this as a state property wrapper, so we can go ahead and use this to drive view updates. Then in here, we just have a map nested inside of a navigation view and a vertical stack. Takes in that region with a $sign because it's bindable. And then in our button here, we simply go ahead and reassign the span, and we wrap it with a animation closure here, which gives us a really smooth looking scroll, rather zoom in-esque animation. And that's it. That's all I've got for you guys. If you haven't done so already, make sure you destroy the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Helps out a lot. I super appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, definitely hit subscribe so we can grow this channel together. Super into Swift, SwiftUI, iOS. If you're into that stuff, definitely hit subscribe and stick around. And of course, if you have any questions, video suggestions, feedback, don't hesitate to leave a comment down below. I reply to every single comment within a number of days. So that all said, thanks again. I'll see you guys in the next one.